Well, Republican Congressman Adam Putnam of Florida will be voting yes on this rescue plan tomorrow. He says that Monday's big drop in the Dow after the early incarnation of the bill was defeated, just a taste of what could be in store if they don't do something on this. Representative Putnam is the third-ranking House Republican, one of the key players in crafting the rescue bill. So, Congressman, from no to yes, is that just because the markets are going to go nuts?
Neil, I voted yes on Monday. But I voted on Monday for the rescue package because it was the right thing to do. I wish the Senate hadn't larded it up, but they did, and I wish we could have a clean vote on this because I still believe it's the right thing to do. But what's a more important barometer than the Dow are these credit markets. The Dow will go up and come down, but there's no one out there who has any ambiguity about the credit markets. And this has to infuse liquidity to the credit markets.
But what if it doesn't?
Forget about
what if
Wall
it doesn't, Congressman? What if it doesn't? Then you've spent a lot of money for nothing.
Well, so don't try? Don't do everything in our power to get these markets functioning again? This is so far beyond Wall Street. We've got car dealerships that can't finance their floor plans.
Well, what makes you think spending $700 or $800 billion is it? You're saying don't try, so that's your only option to spend this obscene amount of money and think that's going to do the trick?
Well, first of all, Neil, you know as well as anyone that we're not outlaying $700 billion the way that we would go spend it on new programs or new tanks or new Jeeps. We're taking on assets. The House Republicans insisted on an insurance program which further drives down that cost well below the $700 billion figure and makes Wall Street firms pay those premiums. But at some point, all these smart guys who are saying, look, you've got three arrows in your quiver. You can do loans, you can do an insurance program, or you can purchase these assets. What we settled for, I think, was a comprehensive approach that says some of these assets are so toxic they're going to have to be purchased. And if the government takes an equity position,
you could do nothing. Now, that's a tough sell because what you're saying, and I fully agree with you, Congressman, you're right. The hell to pay in the markets, both markets, will be beyond hellish. But maybe that would be the constructive thing, to let the market sort out what will be hell, but it will be done in market time, in market hell, with markets solving their own problems.
Well, that would certainly be the popular thing to do, but the popular thing to do in the 1920s and 30s was to pass Smoot-Hawley.
Well, but I'm not saying that. Smoot-Hawley was something that erected barriers to trade that brought it on. I know what you're saying, but
it was the politically popular thing to do. It's what everybody wanted to do. It's Congress, go erect barriers. We want to take care of our own. We don't want to deal with the Europeans. We don't want to deal with whatever Asian markets may have existed back then. Let's erect barriers. That's what the letters to the editor were about. Doing nothing here is the politically popular thing to do.
Congressman. You're doing it in reverse, again with the best intentions, but you're now saying the government is going to solve what the markets have somehow failed. And you might be right. Believe me, you're a very smart, up-and-coming Congressman. You get a lot of things here. You might be right, and far smarter people than I, from Jack Welch to Jack Kemp and a host of others, have said, just like Warren Buffett, that this is the only option. But do you think it sends a damning message that the greatest capitalist society on earth is now saying, no mas, we can't trust capitalism to do its job, so Uncle Sam is coming in to do it for him?
Look, this is not we're not writing a textbook on free market capitalism here.
Well, that's for sure. That is for sure.
We're trying to put in place a recovery plan for this economy. And whether it's Kudlow or Cramer on the right, whether it's Warren Buffett on the left, there is a spectrum of bright people who do this day in and day out who say, we have to move forward with this plan that Congress has now changed dramatically from what Henry Paulson sent up here. And, as a fiscal conservative, as a free market believer, this is not an easy decision for any of us. But I have become convinced in looking at the evidence, not only at the macro level, but in the stories that we hear from businesses and individuals.
Congressman, you are, now don't get me wrong, Congressman, don't get me wrong. You're a patriot, you're a good man, you've worked a lot of hours, you're trying hard on this. I'm just worried about the unintended consequences here. And that among them, Congressman, is you are letting companies, big and small alike, know, you know what, if I fail, there's a backup plan. I'm okay. The government will take care of me.
You know, what we're trying to prevent is what we have seen, where this is undermining successful companies, successful individuals who play by the rules, pay their taxes, pay their mortgages on time.
All right.
Those are the ones who will suffer if the bottom falls out.
All right. Well, I hope you're right, sir. We'll see what happens. Congressman, very good having you.
Thank you, Neil.